Have you heard that the celebrity is a drug addict? You should drink more beer in order to avoid COVID-19. These are the common sayings that we heard, and they are fake news. What are fake news? Fake news are any misleading information that came from unreliable sources. According to the statistics of Waste et al. 2020, the most common encounters of fake news are the social media platforms, followed by the oral communication with others, then followed by television. Why do social media platforms are the primary source of fake news? The primary reason is because social media is a very accessible thing that we humans have been onto. We tend to search more on social media, we tend to browse more on social media, thus we often get misleading information from social media. We also heard from our neighbors, our parents, another information that they got that may be considered not credible enough to state factual details. How should we eliminate or avoid the social media fake newses? First, we must have a critical mindset. By having a critical mindset, we would be able to create a more emotionless and more logical approach to the information. We tend to be more rationalized when encountering fake news in order for us to determine whether it is fake or not. Second is to check the source. By checking the source, we would be able to determine whether the source is credible or not, or whether it has the capability to put and to say the factual information. Step 3, we need to know who are the publishers so that we would be able to determine whether the publisher is credible enough. Then fourth is we need to examine the evidence. By examining the evidence, we would be able to determine whether what they said is true or what they say is not. We would be able to examine evidences if we browse to another references in order to determine whether the two details that they shared are mutual enough. The fifth is to check images. Most of the images nowadays are manipulated through Photoshop, and examining them helps us to determine whether they state or they are telling the truth to us. Lastly, we need to check whether if they sounds right. If we check that they sounds right, we would be able to determine whether they state factual information or not. We should be aware about fake news because fake news is everywhere. And by being aware, we would be able to determine whether what the gathered facts are whether true or not. And by being aware, we will only have to follow and to gather factual information that are beneficial for us. Fake news can be serious or not. It depends to the person who identifies whether that is fake or not. Thank you.